G'day from Melbourne, Australia, and welcome to this edition of famous World War II airfields as they were during the war and as they are now in Microsoft Flight Simulator. In this video we look at the 10 RAF airfields that were important in the Battle of the Atlantic and that were located in the County of Pembrokeshire in West Wales in the United Kingdom, that piece of Wales that juts out towards the Atlantic Ocean. In particular, we look at the now closed RAF Pembroke Dock, then the world's largest seaplane or flying boat airfield, and whose aircraft included the mighty short Sunderland. Here is my real-life electronic flight bag, EFB, which I also always have connected to the sim, and in which you can see the flight plan for the 10 airfields we are visiting. All but one of the airfields, Haverfordwest, are now abandoned. By the way, the electronic flight bag I use for my recreational flying in real life is Avplan, an Australian product which provides full flight planning facilities and worldwide maps and charts, and connects easily to the sim, but I think it would be too expensive to buy just for flight simming. The airports in order are Haverfordwest, Brawdy, St David's, Talbenny, Dale, Angle, Manorbier, Carew, Templeton, and most importantly Pembroke Dock. Now a word on the Battle of the Atlantic, which ran for the whole of World War II and, although considered the longest, largest, most complex naval battle in history, also represented a major battle for air forces, particularly RAF Coastal Command and particularly for short Sunderland seaplanes or flying boats. Although it was about the Allies attempting to blockade Hitler's forces, it was much more about Hitler attempting to blockade the UK and later Russia as well, and then attempting to blockade the build-up in the UK for the D-Day invasion of Europe. It saw the death of a large number of personnel, both military and civilian maritime, and the destruction of many ships of all kinds, including submarines. Although Hitler was winning initially, progressively the Allies gained the upper hand as German industry suffered from mass bombings. British and particularly American manufacturing was growing rapidly. There were new tactics, technology and weapons introduced. Although primarily a naval battle, air forces were also critical to the ultimate Allied victory, and probably none less so than those we are looking at in this video in the County of Pembrokeshire, South Wales, UK. Some airfields provided direct support for the battle, and others more indirect support through training, testing and evaluation and the like. First up is RAF Haverfordwest, operated from 1943 to 1945 by RAF Coastal Command, mainly for training purposes. It is now EGFE Haverfordwest, a general aviation airport. It is the only one of these former RAF airfields at Pembrokeshire to still be an airport. And here it is coming up in the sim. It has maintained the typical World War II RAF airfield layout. RAF Brawdy is next. It commenced in 1944 as a satellite station for nearby RAF St David's. Flying ceased in 1992, and since 1995 the site has been Corridor Barracks, the Army's main electronic warfare base. And here it is in the sim. Such a picturesque area. RAF St David's opened in 1943 for RAF Coastal Command. Of all its various roles, anti-submarine Handley Page Halifax aircraft probably made the greatest impact. From the mid-1990s, the airfield was no longer operational. Here it is in the sim, where you can still see an old aircraft parking area on the left hand side of the helicopter. RAF Talbenny operated from 1942 to 46. It was used by RAF Coastal Command, including Czech and Polish units, for anti-submarine duties, and also training in aircraft ferrying and armaments use. It is currently used for farming, industry and leisure activities such as motorsport. RAF Dale opened in 1942 under the control of RAF Coastal Command as a satellite airfield for RAF Talbenny. It was initially used by a Polish squadron for anti-submarine activities, and then by RAF Coastal Command Development Unit for teaching and new equipment evaluation. Since 1992, the airfield is no longer operational. Such a lovely area. This is my personal favourite airfield because of the amount of old tarmac still visible in the sim. And just look at those landing approaches over the cliffs. RAF Angle opened in 1941 for RAF Fighter Command to provide convoy escort patrols using Hurricane Spitfires and Westland Whirlwinds. Later on it was used for trials of equipment to assist Coastal Command. It was also used by the Royal Navy for a while for target towing practice. It ceased operating as an airfield in the mid-1950s. The location of the old airfield is still visible below in the sim, but otherwise not much left. RAF Manorbier, or Manorbier, not sure of the pronunciation, opened in 1933 as a mixed civil and military airfield. During World War II it was mainly used for anti-aircraft gunnery practice. It is currently Air Defence Range Manorbier, a British Army missile testing centre. I think the original landing area is the dark grass field located just to the left of the chopper now. RAF Carew opened in World War I as an airship station and closed in 1920, reopened in 1939 as a RAF Coastal Command station. Notably, a RAF Dutch squadron operated Avro Ansons from here. Training and new equipment development was also undertaken. The airfield closed in 1954 and the area is now used for farming, go-karting and a caravan park. You can just see the go-kart track just to the right of the chopper and the caravan park on the old runway further out to the right. The old control tower is to the left of the nose of the chopper, right on the edge of the airfield. RAF Templeton opened in 1942 for RAF training. It closed in 45 and has since been used for army training, model flying and gliding. As well as the old runways, you can still see old parking bays now under the front of the chopper. Last but certainly not least, RAF Pembroke Dock, the main airfield in this video, run by RAF Coastal Command for seaplanes or flying boats. It was a key airfield in the Battle of the Atlantic. It was the largest seaplane port in the world during the war, with up to 100 seaplanes, mainly Sunderlands, at any one time, and up to 1,000 personnel. It was responsible for saving many Allied lives and ships and destroying many of Hitler's submarines or U-boats. The seaplane port has gone now and the site is simply Pembroke Dock, but among the reminders from the past are two huge hangars that could house a complete Sunderland and the former RAF Chapel, which is now a military museum. One of the hangars was used in 1979 to build a full-scale model of the Millennium Falcon for use in a Star Wars movie. There's a dock in the sim, bottom left, with one of the old hangars and the location of the old slipways just disappearing off the left of the screen. The two old hangars and the location of the old slipways are now disappearing off the left of, can be seen now through the skid rails of the chopper. They're just behind the chopper's skid rails now, sort of a blue colour. What a great natural harbour. Ahead of the chopper in the distance is the bay where badly damaged seaplanes could be beached if the slipways were occupied or the damage was so bad that sinking was likely. Now to land this tricky chopper right between the two old hangars. Nice and smooth, as you can see. There are the two original hangars. hangars on the left and also the right, although they're not properly modelled in the sim. And the old slipways ran down to the water immediately in front of the chopper. Well, there you go. Hope you enjoyed the tour. If you would like more like this, please let me know, because I love doing them. Cheers.